Maria Rothenberger from the Miracles Happen Fertility Center at drmariarothenberger.com. This is week 43 in a 52-week compassion project that I have been doing for 2020. And this has been a banner year for that, has it not? This week, the quote is by George Washington Carver, and I am using this book, A Year of Living with More Compassion, and I highly recommend you pick this book up. It's been quite essential in my own compassion growth, but certainly for this entire series. The quote is, "How far you go in life depends on your being tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with the striving, and tolerant of the weak and strong, because someday in life you will have been all of these." The theme this week is turning toward suffering. And when you think about this quote, this embodies, or this is representative, these words are representative of the fact that we are all human beings, all having this human experience. And so to be unkind or discompassionate toward one another is being unkind or discompassionate toward ourselves. So, but I like what they say here, that instead of turning away from or trying to make things feel better for ourselves or other people, a very compassionate way of being is just to be with the things that feel like crap. I like what he writes here. The person who chose this quote was Frank Ostaseski. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's a hospice worker. He says, "A common misunderstanding of compassion is that you should help someone feel safe. This is fine, of course, if you can do it, but in my hospice work, I have seen that for many, dying does not feel safe. However, when I'm compassionately present, the patient begins to trust and be open, not because there is no danger, but because they sense an attunement, felt as support, which enables them to go toward the suffering." It seems, then, that the real significance of compassion is not exactly about removing suffering. It is about cultivating our capacity to be with the suffering. I don't think that I could make that more beautiful. That is a lovely way of saying that we just need to be with the suffering. No need to run away from, no need to get all, like, oh my gosh, let's do all the skills and the therapy to stop feeling so terrible. No. A lot of times the therapy is being with the terrible. Okay, so the compassion practice for this week. This is a variation of the practice that's in the book. So they ask two questions. What is a way that you try to avoid suffering? And then they ask another question. How do you experience compassion? And I'm going to add here that when you notice the ways that you avoid suffering, notice a time this week that you are suffering, and practice just being with it without trying to make it better, without the myriad of ways that people assuage feeling terrible, healthy and not healthy. Just being with it. Even set a timer on your phone for or on your whatever, for 60 seconds. See if you can handle it for 60 seconds. Just be with the feeling of suffering. And that is the only practice for this week. The more that you do this, the more that you will be able to cultivate compassion around the suffering rather than needing to change it right away. There's definite felt safety in just feeling your feelings. I will see you next week for quote 44 on this ongoing compassion series.